If you can hear me, kindly go to the chat box and type 1. Can you hear me? Please, if you can hear me, go to the chat box and type 1. Okay, beautiful, Mr. Victor. Thank you for that. Okay, so not wasting much of our time, let's continue.
For leadership development. Leaders are very unique people. They have a very simple distinction, and that is their thinking is different. Leaders do not think like followers. Leaders used to be followers, all of them. If you want to be an impactful personality, you have to develop certain types of thinking and perceptions that change the way you see yourself and see the world. I call this the spirit of leadership.
So he said, leaders do not think like followers. Leaders don't think like followers. You need to discover the spirit of leadership in you. I don't know, maybe the network cut us off. So let me just start afresh because of the network, because many of us didn't get what he said at the beginning. So let's start afresh and listen carefully.
The 10 attitudes for leadership development. Leaders are very unique people. They have a very simple distinction, and that is their thinking is different. Leaders do not think like followers.
You see, number one, leaders, their thinking are what? Different. Look at all the successful businessmen in the world. Look at all the high achievers, highly successful people. The way we think is different from every other person. We don't think like followers. We don't sit down and expect things to happen for us. We know that whatever we want, we go out to get it. We make things happen for us. So our thinking is what? Different. So for you to become a leader, for you to discover and unleash the potential God has put in you, you need to change your thinking. You need to know that you are not a follower, you are a born leader. You have the spirit of leadership. You are now being trained on how to unleash it.
Leaders used to be followers, all of them. If you want to be an impactful personality, you have to develop certain types of thinking and perceptions that change the way you see yourself and see the world. I call this the spirit of leadership.
So he said, if you want to become a leader, you need to change your thinking, the way you see yourself and the way you see the world. And he said, for you to change your thinking, that is what we call spirit of leadership. Guys, I don't know how to explain this, but when you start, as I'm taking you through this journey, you start discovering a lot of things, and personally you start de-associating yourself from a lot of people. Your circle will become very small. You start attracting high achievers in your life.
Now, there are only two animals on the planet that the Creator identified himself with. I've read hundreds of books, and that's my commitment. For the last 20 years, I've been reading 4 books a month. And that gives you an idea of how much reading I do. Because
he said for the past 5 years, he reads 4 books per month. Some of you will be saying, RDI, too much information. If you hate information, you can never attain high success in life. You can never become a high achiever. You can never become successful. You must love information. Guys, a lot of high achievers read 1 book per week, 1 book per month, 4 books per month. Ask yourself, how many books have you read? Are you aware that the materials we put in place are a combination of information from different books put in place? For you to keep growing, you must keep increasing your knowledge about things in your area of study, in your field of business, in your current personal relationship, all areas of your life. You must increase your information. So you see why we keep feeding you with information, because we want you to remain relevant. The day you stop consuming all the content, I pity some of us that when we go to our WhatsApp group, we don't read the message, we allow it to pass by. In my WhatsApp, do you know another way of reading is by you reading other people's content? They've made the journey so short for you. They've read the book and they summarize and they give you in terms of points. Consume and digest, because it's also another way of you reading books. So as a leader, you must keep feeding your mind with information, because the day you stop feeding your mind with information, positive information, that day you start dying. You're starving. Imagine where you starve food, you starve yourself for 40 days. You can imagine what will happen to your body. That is exactly what will happen to your mind when you stop feeding it with the right information. And that is one thing I love about the RDI NGO system. We keep giving you information even when you don't have the opportunity, because we are made up of a group of highly successful high achievers that do the needful to study and help you dish out in a summarized way. And even the books, we know that is compulsory for you to read. We ask you to go and read it. The easiest way to solve a problem in your life is to look for information, videos, podcasts, audios, or books that can help you solve the issue or the problem you're having.
If you're going to become influenced in the world, you have to be a reader. And when I read the Bible, I was shocked to find that there are two animals that the Creator identified himself with. The first one is the eagle, and the second animal is the lion. And when I identified those two animals as his favorite to identify himself with, I recognized I better study these two animals, because if he is the leader of the universe and I want to be a leader on earth, I better find out the nature of these animals and also the attitude of these animals.
So he said he had to study the Bible. Guys, everything spiritual is made manifested in the, as in the principle of the universe is in line with whatever is in line spiritually with what God has listed out in the Bible and in the Quran. That is just the truth. Now he said, if you notice, when God wants to describe himself, God described himself as the Lion of the Judah. He described himself as, if you talk about the king of animal on the land, we talk about lion. If he wants to describe himself as the king of birds in the sky, we talk about eagle. When he wants to describe himself as the king of fishes, of fishes in the sea, he uses what? Whale. So he said, if God always described himself through this animal, and God is the leader of the universe, and God created man in his image and likeness, and we as men in the earth, we are supposed to be the king. We are supposed to be the leader of the earth. Therefore, if you want to become a leader, he went to study this animal to see the attitude of this animal that relates to God, that he needs to inculcate in himself for him to be a leader in earth. That's what he's saying.
And I discovered that both of them are the kings of their domain. The eagle is the king of the bird kingdom, and the lion is the king of the animal kingdom. Well, I want to talk about the lion today, even though I can do a session on the eagle, which is very important. But let's talk a little bit about the lion. The lion has what I call the spirit of leadership. And this word spirit here is referring to attitude.
You see, he said the lion. He now went to study the lion. The lion has a spirit of leadership. And when we talk about spirit of leadership, is referred to as the attitude. You must unleash the spirit of leadership in you. Must. So listen carefully and take note of the attitude of the lion, which you've kept dormant in yourself. It's high time to unleash that attitude. It's already in you.
Leader has an attitude that makes him or her different from followers. And the lion exhibits that attitude. We have to cultivate the same attitudes that the lion has, because the lion apparently has been given the same attitudes that God himself identifies with, and he put it in these creatures. And apparently you and I are supposed to be the king of the animal kingdom, the rulers of all animals. So obviously we have somewhere trapped on the inside these same potential attitudes.
So you heard what he said. He said this spirit of leadership, all of us have it trapped inside of us, but only 5%. In fact, not just 5%. It's just between 1 to 5%. Let's call it 1% crazy. Just 1% of the world population have been able to unleash and discover that spirit of leadership? Just 1%. So the question is, do you want to be among the 1% crazy that are ready to unleash the spirit of leadership in them?
Now, the lion is the king of the jungle, but the lion to me is a great source of encouragement to all of us. Number one, the lion is not the tallest animal in the jungle. Number two, the lion is not the largest animal in the jungle. Number three, the lion is not the heaviest animal in the jungle. Number four, the lion is not the smartest animal or the most intelligent animal in the jungle. And yet, the lion is the king. You don't need to be intelligent. You don't need to be smart. You don't need to have a certain height. You don't need to have a certain weight. You don't need to have any kind of advantage. And yet you can be the leader. Now, what's the main thing that shocks me with the lion is that the lion is not larger than the giraffe, bigger than the elephant, or heavier than the hippo. He's not as smart as the hyena or the snake. And yet, when he shows up, they all run away. The lion, therefore, cancels all of your excuses.
Did you hear that? The lion is not the tallest, not the smartest, not the fastest, not the wisest, but yet he's the king of the jungle. What happened? He canceled all excuses. He canceled all excuses. Every limitation that the world, as in people, see in him, he canceled it. That is the attitude of a leader. Don't tell yourself, I am old, I am this, it's too late. You are the one limiting yourself. Nobody has the power to limit you except you. So let me ask you, why will you limit yourself? The moment you start telling yourself you cannot do something, that something is impossible, that day you've signed up for what? Mediocrity. That's the truth. So why should you limit yourself? No, if God has created you and put the spirit of leadership in you, put the lion in you, trust me, nobody can limit you. So do you see, the lion canceled every excuses. He's not wise, he's not smart, he's not the tallest, he's not the fastest, but yet he's the king. So if you want to become a leader in your life, if you want to become a leader in your community, in the world, but I'm not even speaking about the world, your life first, because when we talk about your life, we talk about your spiritual life, your financial life, your business life, your economic life, your relationship. Then cancel all excuses. You see, in this business, you can attain massive success in this business. You can get to the top in a very short period of time. You have a lot of great mentors around you. Cancel all your excuses.
For not becoming a leader. What makes the lion so unique? An army of sheep led by a lion will always defeat an army of lions led by a sheep, because leadership can transform cowards into violent warriors. Why would a lion become the king of the jungle when he has all of those limitations? He's not the tallest, not the strongest, not the smartest, not the heaviest, not the most intelligent, but yet he runs things. The lion is the king of the jungle because of one word: attitude. The lion has a different attitude that makes every animal afraid of him.
Did you get that? The lion canceled all his limitations, canceled all his excuses. Why? Because of what? His attitude, the way he sees himself and the way he sees others. That's what makes the difference. Know that in this life, if you're living your life based on what people are saying, trust me, you don't enter one chance. That's the life of mediocrity, and you end up being poor, not leaving any mark and legacy in life. So it's all about how you see yourself and how you see people. That's what makes the difference. The attitude. Attitude of what? A lion.
Now, we don't want to lead by fear, but it does take respect for you to become a leader.
So he said, we don't lead by fear, but it takes what? Respect. Why is it that the animals in the jungle are afraid of the lion? Are they afraid in a negative way, or are they afraid in the positive way? The animals in the jungle are afraid of the lion in a positive way. The fear they have towards the lion is respect. They respect the lion. Why? The lion canceled all his limitations. canceled all his excuses because of what? His attitude.
The word fear in the jungle, we're talking about respect. The elephant respects the lion. The hyenas respect the lion. The giraffes, they respect the lion. What makes these massive animals respect such a small cat? The attitude is the difference. For example, a lion will see an elephant, and the thing that comes to his mind, one word, lunch. Now, the elephant is 10 times the size of the lion, probably 50 times heavier, and has more power. One stomp of his feet could destroy the lion. But when the lion sees the elephant, he doesn't look at size and weight and strength and power. He looks at lunch. I could eat this thing. And he acts the way he thinks. You see,
get that? When the lion sees the elephant, instead of him to become scared, oh, this animal is too big, his leg can even kill me. What? Remember, attitude, how you see yourself and how you see others. So he sees himself as the hunter and he sees the elephant as lunch. He removed fear. The lion is fearless. That's the respect. When he sees the elephant, he sees lunch. How do you see yourself and how do you see people around you? That's the attitude we are talking about.
Size is not the problem. The weight of the elephant is not his concern. What makes him act is the way he thinks. And because he thinks he can eat the elephant, he attacks him. Leadership attitude. Now, here's another amazing mystery. The elephant is larger, bigger, stronger, more powerful, heavier, and more intelligent. And yet, when the elephant sees the lion, one word comes to mind: eater. The elephant is controlled by the way he thinks.
Do you see? When the elephant, despite all his characteristics, when he sees the lion, do you know what he's seeing? He's seeing eater. He's seeing the lion as an eater of animal. And that makes him what? Scared. So the elephant is affected by the way he thinks. He sees himself as a food to the lion.
He thinks that he is lunch. Therefore, his size, his weight, his power, his might, his authority is a victim of the way he thinks. It doesn't matter how big you are, how intelligent you are, how many degrees you get. It's your mind that keeps you small. And it doesn't matter how small you are, or how unintelligent you may seem to be, or how much you don't have. It's your mind that makes you the leader. Attitude. The difference between a leader and a follower is attitude. Why? Because it is unique attitudes that distinguish leaders from followers.
The difference between a leader and a follower is attitude. The difference between the rich and the poor is attitude. The difference between the highly successful people, high achievers, from the unsuccessful is attitude. How you see yourself and how you see things.
They think differently. And that's because attitudes produce certain behaviors, and those behaviors stretch the leader beyond the limitations of the norm. In other words, it is the thinking of the person that makes them see circumstances differently. How do you think? Write this down. Attitude is a product of belief. This is very important to develop your leadership. Attitude is a product of belief. You cannot have an attitude beyond your belief.
Attitude is a product of belief. So you cannot have an attitude beyond your belief system. Guys, are we getting this? Please, if you're getting this, go to the chat box and type 2. If you're getting this, go to the chat box and type attitude. That's what I want to say. If you're flowing with the energy being expelled from this message, go to the chat box and type attitude. Engineer Babatunde, you say no audio. People are hearing you. Engineer, try logging out and logging back in. Beautiful. Attitude. You cannot have the right attitude away from your belief system.
So your attitude comes from your belief system. The lion is the king because of what he believes about himself and what he believes about the elephant and the giraffe. He believes that they are lunch and he believes he can eat them. His belief system controls the whole situation when they meet. I was born in a house on 4 rocks, 2 bedrooms, 11 kids, 1 mother, 1 father. 1 bedroom for my mom and dad, the other for my 7 sisters.
So he said your attitude is in connection with your belief system. So now he wants to tell us his life story of how his belief system influenced his attitude. Hope all of you know this man, Dr. Miles Monroe. Hope all of you know him. He's dead now, but he's one of a great influencer in the world. Despite his death, his influence and his legacy is still living in the world, not just in Nigeria, in the world.
Sisters. And of course, the boys had to find somewhere to sleep. I remember sleeping on a mattress on the floor. I remember sleeping one time on a mat, and that sheet never kept the mosquitoes out. All around me was poverty, but we didn't know that because everybody was poor. The only way you know you're poor is when you meet a rich person. And there I was, sleeping on the floor, wonderful family. They loved me, we loved one another. My parents loved us, we loved them, we had a great family, but we didn't have much. And every opportunity was around me to think negative. I was on the other side with alcoholics all over the place. And I remember my mother and father would tell us things to fix our belief system. They would say, you can do anything you want to do, son. And they said that when I was sleeping on the floor. They were working on my belief system. And then they taught us the Bible. Now, I don't know about you and your belief about the Bible made me what I am today, so don't you talk bad about the Bible. And if you don't believe in the Bible, that's okay. I'm doing just fine, believe me. And the Bible helped me become what I am. But it was that book that checked my thinking. Ephesians 3 verse 20. Don't you laugh at the Bible. The verse said, now unto him who is able to do exceedingly, abundantly, above, far beyond all you can ever ask, think, or imagine, according to the power that working within you. I went from an F student to an A student in 1 semester because of my belief system. I graduated head boy. It was my what? Belief system. No one can live beyond the limits of their belief.
Nobody can live beyond the limits of their belief. See, he came from a poor home, but he never knew that they were poor. Because even by sleeping on the floor, mosquitoes biting him, his parents has inspired a very powerful belief system in him. That he can do anything, he can be great. The only time he knew he was poor is when he go out to meet other people. Being in a wealthy environment, that was the only time he knew he was poor. Belief system. He went from an F student to becoming an A student. In my primary school, in my nursery school, I don't know anything. My result is always I carry last, as in I'm the last marker in school. Same goes for my primary. My secondary, I told myself, no, this is not me. I can change. In fact, guys, I'm not smart. I'm not intelligent. I am a dummy. Trust me on that when I tell you. Come and check my result. But when I entered university, something changed in me. I told myself, I can do more. I can perfect. I started from my A1, my results. This is me that wasn't performing well, secondary school and primary school. But I kept working on my belief system. Guys, my journey in the success rhyme, started when I was a child. I was an introvert, so I exposed myself to books at a very young age. So in my university days, I was like, come on, I can do better. I started advancing. This is someone that never performed well in secondary school. But guess what? How did I enter university? Guys, my JAMB was 203. I entered university, now we are in Nigeria. I was able to, it's not that I'm that bad though, but at least I know my results did not get me to university. My dad was able to run seats for me. But I told myself that I won't keep living in that line. And I entered university, I changed. I told myself I'm going to read the book. Since I don't have the talent, I'm not that smart when they teach, I understand. I told myself, what I lack in skill, I'll make it up in numbers. That course, anytime they teach us anything, I will go through that thing and be taught 10 times. Because I read a book that spoke about the brain, how powerful our brain is. That God, all of us are created the same. Everybody have the same brain. I started asking myself, why is that some people are doing well and I'm not? So one of my mentors then gave me a book. The book was talking about the brain, how to tap as in how to tap into the capacity of the brain. So in my year one, I started reading that book, what to eat to improve the brain, what to do. So I knew that I'm not good in captivating once someone talk. But once they are done teaching, I make sure I take all the notes. I make sure I record. Then I go through that note and record 10 times. When I go through it 10 times, it sticks in my head. And I graduated as in from the Department of Biochemistry, the best 5 graduating students out of 280 students. I'm one of them, one of the best graduating students. So it's about what? Your belief system. Once you guys don't know how powerful you are. Once you tell yourself this, do you know you have a power? God, we are mini gods, as in small gods. God has installed in us something powerful, which is our mind, that works with the realm of the universe, the energy of the universe, the frequency of the universe. Whatever you send out, the universe gives you back, as easy as that. But why is that? 98% of the world population send out negative energy, and they don't believe in themselves.
So if you want to live beyond what you're living now, you have to change your belief system. Leaders are born when you have the discovery of a new belief system. The secret to anyone rising is what happens in their belief system. Your life is what you think it should be. That's exactly what you are right now. You are what you thought you should.
You see, he said everything, your rise and your fall, is found in your belief system. The genotype, the gene is in your belief system. Whatever you think you are, that is what you are. Wherever you are now, that is where you think you should be. Tell yourself you are not supposed to be there and get yourself to the next level where you are.
And if you don't like who you are, belief system, no one can live beyond the limits of their belief. So if you want to live beyond what you're living now, you have to change your belief system. Leaders are born when you have the discovery of a new belief system. The secret to anyone rising is what happens in their belief system. Your life is what you think it should be. That's exactly what you are right now. You are what you thought you should be. And if you don't like who you are, you got to change what you think you should be. That's how leaders are born. No amount of training in leadership skills or management methods or titles, no amount of promotion or associations with rich people or smart people can ever substitute for the right attitude. No substitute for it. As a matter of fact, your leadership development is determined by, number one, your perception of who you are.
Your leadership development is determined, number one, with the perception of who you are. If you don't like where you are, change it. The level where you are in life, you made yourself that level. If you're not comfortable, change it. Never you ever feel comfort in any level in life as long as you are alive. The moment you start feeling comfort, that moment you start dying. Notice every highly successful, high performer people in the world, they are never comfortable at any level. Once they attain any level, they set a big goal, a big challenge, and they go for it. They are never ever comfortable. Comfort is a passport to poverty. That's the truth. Dangote, has he settled? After refinery, they are setting up power for Africa. On top of that, he's buying a football club, trying to expand Dangote company abroad. Is he settled? That should be a question for us. You think you're comfortable, you think where you are, you've made it, you're okay. Then trust me, that is one way ticket to poverty. The moment you start feeling comfort, just know that poverty and your village people have started calling you. As in, they want to make you a brand ambassador. Never you ever feel comfort. Every successful man strives in the environment of discomfort. Always make yourself. Once you notice that you are feeling comforted, it happens to me. Like last year, at a point, I noticed I'm not feeling almost as if I'm okay. I had to challenge myself, set a bigger goal, set a bigger challenge for myself. The moment I feel comfort, I hate comfort zones. That's something about me. So never you ever be comfortable.
Number two, while you think you exist, And number three, these are very important, your sense of significance.
So number one, your perception of yourself. Number two, why do you think you exist? Number three, your significance. What's your significance? He's talking about the 5 leadership principle. Number one, your perception of yourself. Who do you think you are? How do you see yourself? Who are you? Your significance. What value? God sent you to this world on a mission. What's the assignment you are to carry out in this life before you die? Why do you think that you need to become? Very important.
I am giving you my secret to life right here. What brought me from the floor to flying my own jet is these simple statements here. You got to first change your perception of who you are. And that starts with a belief system. Secondly, you must change your perception of why you think you exist. And number three, your sense of significance. Your perception of who you are. You've got to change it. And most of our perceptions are other people's concepts of us, and therefore we don't have self-concept, we got other concept. What is your perception of who you are? And the second one, why do you think you exist? You got to discover that you were born for something. Some reason, there's some purpose for your life. If you don't discover that, you'll always have a job, and we'll bury you in an average grave with an average tombstone. Discover that you are important to the human race, you are important to the world, you are important to your universe. When I had to grapple with that question, it was tough, because I've been taught by society, like you have, that you are just a social security number or some NIB number, or you're some just kind of a worker in the system. But that's not true. You were born to do something very significant in the world. And you have to get to the point where you believe that.
Believe that you are born to do something significant in the world. Go to your goal book, write down, I am significant, I am magnificent. I'm going to leave my legacy on this world, on this planet. Believe that you are born to do something significant. You're on a mission. God sent you on a mission. Don't let God be ashamed of you when you die. You didn't even leave any impact in life. That's a wasted life.
Cultivating these attitudes are the key to becoming a leader. Now, when attitudes of leadership is married to the ability of leadership, then you become a leader. You can have potential, but if you don't have the belief, your potential becomes a victim of your present belief.
You can have the potential of leadership, but if you don't have the belief, then that's waste. He said your attitude of leadership must marry your ability. That is when the leadership spirit is born. And that is seen in your belief. Just believe. Oh my God, you don't know how power. You are a lion. Unleash the lion in you. Believe. And let the lion in you dominate. Until then, the spirit of leadership will be born. When your ability marries your attitude. And remember, attitude is traceable towards your belief system.
Remember the elephant? The elephant has great power. But what makes him afraid of the lion is his belief system. So your mentality has to be equal to your ability for you to manifest leadership. You do have the ability, you were born with it to be a leader, but your mentality hasn't matched it yet. And that's why all of your capacity to lead is buried under your lack of belief that you can. Belief is so powerful, it can make an elephant act like a sheep in the presence of a lion. You know, normally people who are insecure, whenever they meet somebody who is confident, they always call the confident arrogant. When you discover who you are, you can't help but be confident. I don't pretend, I don't try.
You see, have you noticed when they see successful people, rich people, they call them arrogant. They say, they are too bold. They are not. See, wealthy men, successful men are the most humble people. When people see, she's too proud, she's too bold, it's a lie. See, when you have 100% belief in yourself, you can't help but be what? Be bold. And when you're bold, people see it as arrogant. The unsuccessful people see it as arrogant. That's just the truth. Let me repeat that statement.
Your capacity to lead is buried under your lack of belief that you can. Belief is so powerful, it can make an elephant act like a sheep in the presence of a lion. You know, normally people who are insecure, whenever they meet somebody who is confident, they always call the confident arrogant.
When insecure people meet confident people, they call confident people arrogant. They are not arrogant. They just have a 500, 1000% belief in themselves. And they don't care about whatever anybody says or thinks, other than what they say and think of themselves.
When you discover who you are, you can't help but be confident. I don't pretend, I don't try to have confidence. If you try, that means you ain't got it. If you're faking it. Confidence is a product of belief. What you believe about yourself determines the way you think about yourself, and the way you think about yourself is the way you behave. And you behave bold and confident and valid because there's some things you discovered about you and about life that makes life change a perception. You can never fully carry out the mandate of leadership if you don't have the mentality of leadership. And that's what this session is about. It's about mentality.
You can't carry out the mandate of leadership if you don't have the mentality of leadership. So let's unveil the mentality of leadership.
A matter of fact, integrating attitude and attributes of aptitude and altitude produces leadership. That's a lot of ops there. Because each one of them is a different experience for leaders. First of all, your attitude got to be right. Then you must marry that to attributes. That means gifts you were born with. Then you got to marry that to aptitude. That means now you got to educate and train those gifts. That's why you read and study and go to school, for your aptitude to be increased. And then your altitude means you got to change the level of associations you are in. You know, it's amazing. When you change your aptitude, you normally want to change your altitude. Leaders choose their friends based on their destination.
He said, when you are changing your attitude, you need to change your altitude. Meaning, as you're growing in the success ladder, you need to lose friends, cut away from relationship. Successful people attract other successful relationships. They attract relationships that are mutual benefits. I can't surround myself with anybody that is not adding value to me. That's simple. That's the truth. As you are increasing in your attitude, your altitude needs to increase, need to change. You need to lose friends. As you're climbing the ladder, you lose friends. Have friends of people that are in every level you are that will help you to get to the next level. If you don't have that kind of people, trust me, the people around you, they are poor. And that's the reason of why you are where you are today. That's the simple truth.
And one of the keys to developing leadership is you have to appreciate the fact that no one is responsible for your life except you. I had to take charge of my life as a teenager.
Nobody is responsible for your life except you. Go to the chat box and type that. No one is responsible for your life except you. Not the federal government, not your society, not your community, not your parents, not your husband or your wife, not your children. Nobody is responsible for your life except you. Nobody is responsible for your success except you in all areas. Even in this business, nobody is responsible for it except you. Whatever support you're receiving, see it as Jara, as a supplement. But just know that nobody is responsible for your success in this business except you. Because even if you are surrounded with all level of support, if you're not taking advantage of all level of support, you can't be successful. Imagine I sent out information yesterday, only 5 persons shared info. Okay, only 10 persons shared information to their WhatsApp group to invite people for business presentation by 8 p.m. If you don't take responsibility, then the results you're looking for will not come. Thank God I'm not just the one saying it. You guys are hearing from Mr. Miles.
And at age 13, I discovered who I was. I became a problem to the whole family. My mom said to me, she said, you are a different boy. You are a different child. But something happened to me at age 13. I discovered myself.
And notice when you start taking responsibility for your life, responsibility for your success, you become different. People around you will notice a change. And it's normal. People will call you all sorts of names. It's normal. Don't feel bad. The moment you see people are calling you names, people are telling you you've changed, people are complaining you are no longer the kind of person you are, trust me, you are in the right direction to success. You are in the right path.
Different was simply meaning You don't think like the rest of the kids. That's all it means. And remember, thinking is belief system being exposed. And therefore, I married my attitude and my attributes, and my aptitude changed, and I began to study for a different reason. And suddenly my altitude changed. I started attracting different types of friends. And by the way, when an eagle, this is the other animal that God identified himself with. I studied eagles intensely. I got a whole series on eagles because you must study to understand life. And I discovered, but they said eagles can fly up to 3 to 4 miles in the sky. That's almost high as some jet planes. And do you know that when an eagle is flying at top flight, they said that if an eagle meets another bird in top flight, it has to be another eagle.
So now he's done talking about the lion. Now we are talking about what? Why is it that God described himself as an eagle? What makes the eagle the king of the sky? Notice when the eagle is flying in the sky, the only group of birds, the eagle is the only bird that fly at the highest altitude in the sky. And the only group of birds you see with the eagle at that altitude is its fellow eagles.
Because they're the only birds that can fly at that altitude. So here's a thought to take back to work with you. If you keep running into pigeons and ducks and tobacco doves, you are flying too low. Do you know that?
He said, if you keep running into pigeons, if you're flying in life, if you keep running towards pigeons, tobacco dogs, as in, if you're seeing negative people around you, complainers, people that keep blaming others around you, you're flying too low. He said, know that you are an eagle and fly. I know I'm an eagle. I fly to the highest height. Nobody can stop me. So the moment you see that the people around you, complainers, whiners, blamers, negativity, everything about them, no positive value, you are doing what? You are flying low with a bad company. So you need to do what? Fly high with other eagles.
A pigeon is, eagles never flock. You only find them one at a time. So if you keep attracting a gang of people around you at work, everybody want to bring gossip to you, cackling, you are in bad company. That's why I really want you to give yourself a big hand today, because to come here, you must be an eagle. You left the pigeons back at the office.
So to be in this Zoom meeting, you are an eagle. You left the pigeon around your environment. You left the pigeon in your environment. You left the company of people that are not adding value to you for you to be in our organization. He's not telling you that you are an eagle. Stop surrounding yourself with birds, chickens that are always complaining. Quack, 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 quack. No, they are not ready to take responsibility for your life, for their life. So you take responsibility for your life. And notice, you don't see eagles flocking around.
Well, why are you going down there? Who do you think they are? They can't teach you nothing. Hey, that's a chicken talking. And they only fly when they're frightened.
When you see people complain, every time you are on a Zoom meeting, every time you are going to the office, every time you are this, what are they? They are not doing anything for you. Just know that that's a chicken talking to you. When people start talking down on you, discouraging you from surrounding yourself with great people that add value to you, going to the office, doing your assignments, being on Zoom meeting, just know that they are chickens. They are talking to you. And guess what? You already know the answer to that. They associate yourself from them.
If you're going to be a leader, you got to be careful who you fly with. People who criticize got time for it. And that's why I ignore them. I ignore my critics because they got time for it. I'm too busy. I'm too busy succeeding. I'm giving them something to criticize. The greatest revenge in life, they say, is success. It's not ability, it's mentality that makes a leader. And that kept.
He said the greatest revenge you can give to all the negative people around you is massive success. It's not your capability or ability, it's your what? Mentality.
Hippopotamus has power. They got ability, strength, size. They got might. They got ability. What they lack is mentality. The lion got a different mentality, so he eats them for lunch. What you think is more important than what you do. And so if you want to change, you got to work on this attitude bit. There's my conference people again. Here's my philosophy. My philosophy is this: trapped in every follower is a hidden leader. Trapped in every follower is a hidden leader. Therefore, the goal of true leadership is to release the hidden leader in the...
That's my goal. My goal is to release the hidden leader in you. I don't want you, remember guys, yesterday I told us, I don't want you to be my follower. I want you to be standing by my side and in fact, in front of me. Stop thinking that you stop thinking small. Stop being a follower. Start taking bold, massive action. Fearless. Whether you fail or not, you learn and move on.
Followers. If you are a true leader in your department or in your company supervisory position, you are a true leader as a pastor, or maybe as a manager in some company, your greatest example of leadership is production of leaders. True leaders do not maintain followers. They produce leaders. True leadership focuses on producing leaders, not followers. In other words, a true leader begins to train people under their care immediately to take leadership. The capacity to lead is in every human being. And leadership is like a tree trapped in a seed. And every one of you that walked through that door today is a seed that was sent to the planet to produce a tree to serve the world your fruit. That's why you were born. And deep inside of you is a person no one knows yet. And what you've done so far is just initiation process. That's why no one should cancel you yet, because you ain't quite come out yet. Leadership manifestation requires the right environment. You know, a seed can be placed on a windowsill in your tiled bathroom and stay there for 50 years, and the tree never come out. Even though the seed has a tree and a forest in it, it is a victim of the environment. If you can just get that seed off that windowsill and put it in soil with a little bit of water, here comes the future. That's the way life is. You are no different from a seed. I get stacks of CDs that I buy, Les Brown and Tim Rev and all the others, and I put them in my car. And when I'm driving, every time I sit in my car, I'm feeding my seed.
You get that? You being in a wrong environment, surrounded with wrong people, will hide the seed of leadership in you. He said when you put a seed on a window, no matter what, just by the environment, it won't grow. But when you put it in a soil, it tends to do what? Die and germinate. Surround yourself, create an environment of positivity. Your association, your environment. When you are in your car, he said it, even when he's driving his car, you see these videos, I have over 2,000 of them. I listen, feed myself every day. Stop listening to worldly classic music. When you're in your car, when you come to the office, you can request for the video or download it from YouTube, our recorded listening. Play it, keep playing it. You are feeding your seed of greatness. Many of us have so inhibited the seed of greatness in us that it's lost inside of us. So start feeding that seed of greatness in you.
Constantly. Even the music you listen to, got to be careful. It can be poison to your germination of your seed. The next time someone says they want to get to know you, ask them, are you fertilizer or rock? There are some folks in your life right now who are very toxic. They will pollute your seed. You'll never come out. Have you noticed that people who ain't going nowhere want you to go with them? Folks who ain't doing nothing in life want you to do it with them. This is why you got to break away from your best friends sometime to become better. You outgrow people, so know when to leave. If they keep asking you questions, it's time to go. People who you can ask questions. That's how you grow. True attitude is manifested in attitude. And what I mean by that is when you discover leadership, it comes out in your attitude. Attitude must be a product of your belief system. Everybody in here have attitude. Everybody. What's about the leadership attitude? There are two types of concepts. The first one is the leadership spirit and the spirit of leadership. Two different concepts. The leadership spirit is what you were born with. Your ability, you never received it, you came with it. But your ability that you were born with is trapped by the mentality that they gave you from your culture. This is why to be great, you got to divorce yourself from your traditions and your culture. Because convention makes no room for creativity. It doesn't allow you to believe beyond the norm. Matter of fact, they want you to fit in, not stand out. So society is all worked, it's all designed for you to behave yourself. You're trained to limit yourself. Isn't it amazing that you buy a car that can travel 150 miles per hour, 180 miles per hour, and then the same country that sells the car to you puts up a sign, 50. No, you don't thought about that. It's a problem. Yes. See, Ford Motor Company makes the car to make 180, and then they make sure you only can travel 50. Society is designed to make sure you never become a leader. And that's why if you to become a leader in your workplace, you're going to have to break away from the traditions. Now, I want to warn you.
He said our environment, our society is designed to make us fall, designed not for us to be a leader. So you must break away from the society, break away from the tradition. Become different. Yes, be different. Your spirit of leadership and the leadership spirit are two different things. All of us were born with leadership spirit, but our spirit of leadership is developed through the right association, the right environment, and the right food you use in feeding your seed in you.
When you decide to break the speed limit, all your enemies will wake up in the office. Every critic that you thought was your friend will suddenly come alive because people don't want you to leave them in their nothingness. You can't lead from behind. That's why sheep are not leaders. They follow the sheep hips in front of them. But when you're out front, ain't no hip to follow. You got to design your course. And that takes boldness and risk. It takes all kinds of challenging commitment to decide where you want to go in life out front. Having the leadership spirit means that you are naturally created to lead. But the mentality is what wakes it up. Some of you in this room look just like that. You are powerful, but they got you in the bush. The social environment is just making you afraid to come out and take what's yours in life. You are the way you see yourself. Do you think you're a grasshopper? The elephant actually thinks it's a meal for a cat. The mindset of a leader is what changes his attitude toward life and himself. The spirit of leadership refers to attitudes, mentality, and mindset. And that's been the key to all great leaders. And sometimes that spirit comes forth under pressure. Many leaders in history are products of circumstances that force them to think different. That's what makes them emerge as leaders. The spirit of leadership is a mindset. It dictates your motivation. It is revealed in your response to your environment. The spirit of leadership is a perception of yourself and the world. How do you see the world?
Your mindset, your perception of yourself and the world. How do you see the world? That's the spirit of leadership. Leadership spirit, you were born with it, but the spirit of leadership starts with the seed, how you cultivate the seed in you by your environment, your thinking, the way you see yourself, the way you see the world. Very important.
The spirit of leadership is your convictions that regulate your thoughts about yourself and people. The spirit of leadership is your personal private philosophy of life, how you think about life and yourself. The spirit of leadership is your thoughts about oneself and one's environment. It is your belief system which controls your behavior. The spirit of leadership is the source of your action which determines the response and how you interpret the world. This is very important. I see the world differently from most people because of my belief system, which becomes my attitude creator. So I don't panic over nothing. I don't panic. Panic is a product of a certain belief system, and therefore it is your mental condition. Success keeps the right company all the time. You have to nurture yourself so that you can produce the right attitude. And nurture means to feed yourself the right information. We are what we think, and we become what we continue to think. You tell your kids, go read a book, go read your homework, and then you watch TV. They're confused. Your kids will value what you value. If you value TV, they're going to hate books. If they watch you always reading books, they're going to turn the TV off, because whatever mom and dad values and mom and dad are doing well, that must be what we should do too. So our kids fell in love with books. My house is full of books. I begin to run out of the house because you become what you think. You cannot rise above the plane of your mental conditioning. So I got to constantly keep feeding my mentality. I have to work on it so I can work up my altitude of mentality.
You cannot rise above the level of your mental conditioning. Wherever you are, if you're not feeding your mind, you cannot grow in life beyond what you already know. That's why you must keep feeding, keep feeding. That is one, in fact, this is the gold mine of the RDI NGO. This is what the RDI did to my life, 2017. They helped me cultivate the seed in me. I never knew I can achieve so much. 3 years ago, I never knew I can be this person. I never knew this person. If you tell me who I am now, if you told me 5 years ago, 10 years ago that who I am now existed, I would doubt you. I'll never believe you. But the RDI NGO helped me become, helped me grow, helped me discover, and gave me the right nutrients, the right food, taught me how to nurture the greatness God has given to me. And that is what I'm trying to help each and every one of us cultivate.
To change your life, you must change your mind. And this is why the heart of leadership is working on the way a person thinks. Here's the most important thing to write down. 7 principles of true leadership. Number 1, true leadership is inherent in the human spirit. You have to believe that first. Every human being possesses the capacity to be a leader. Whether they die as a follower is a choice. Number 2, true leadership cannot be taught. It must be discovered. Number 3, true leadership is self-discovery. And number 4, true leadership is serving your gift to the world. Everyone in this room was born with a specific gift. Some of you got 2 of them. Don't try and develop all of your gifts. Focus on one, make it your primary gift, and then refine it, and then serve it to the world. It is your gift that makes you valuable, and serving it is your responsibility. And the better you serve your gift, the greater leadership you achieve. So whoever can serve their gift more effectively, they become the greatest in the group. No one came to earth without a gift. Problem is, we try to take other people's gifts and make them ours. If you become an imitation, you're going to be broke. You need to find your gift, your strength, your unique power. And you need to take that and say, I'm going to become this, and then serve it to the world. And that's your leadership born that day. We've all been taught to be employed, not deployed. And so they always tell you, go to school, get an education so you can get a job. They never say stay in school so you can own a business. They don't even think that way. It doesn't even cross. Your parents don't even think that way. And so you follow the convention of the community. I'll never forget a meeting when I went to Malaysia to speak. I was speaking at the largest Sony plant.
So he said, even our environment teaches us to be an employee, not even to be. They don't teach us about deployment. So now he wants to teach us how environment. He wants to tell us a story of how environment affects our mentality in Nigeria. Oh, go to school, get a good grade, get a good job. Retire to poverty. That's it. That's the environment. That's the mentality. Now listen to the story of 2 different environments and see why environments affect you greatly. Even when you don't have the right environment, you can create it. I'm in Nigeria, but I don't even know what's happening around. I create my environment. I create environment of positivity. And that's why you see I'm always pumped.
2 days with them. The first day I spoke to all the managers, all the CEOs. They never say stay in school so you can own a business. They don't even think that way. It doesn't even cross. Your parents don't even think that way. And so you follow the convention of the community. I'll never forget a meeting when I went to Malaysia to speak. I was speaking at the largest Sony plant. I had 2 days with them. The first day I spoke to all the managers, all the CEOs. I was the speaker to train them. There was Chinese and Japanese and Singaporeans, all these folks were there in Malaysia working for Sony. And I had to do training there for management development and leadership training for the whole day. The third day, the president of that particular firm called me up and he says, our CEOs and our executives are so impressed by you, we want to take you for lunch. We want to talk to you some more. And they were picking my brain, man. They were taking notes, asking me questions, keep writing stuff. And all of a sudden it hit me, wait a minute. All these guys are millionaires, man. Every Chinaman I know owns a business. And here I am in the heart of Asia, where they come from. And I said, sir, pardon me, I have a question. that I need you to answer.
He's telling us the story of when he went to Asia for a conference. And after the conference, they were all asking him questions. He was answering. At a point, he had to sit down and ask himself. I noticed that every Asian, every China man is into business. What's the secret? Every China man, notice even in Nigeria, all Asian, China, Japanese, you're seeing them owning bakery. Most of what they own is bakery. Notice, why is it so? Why is it that their economy is so great?
I said, tell me, how come everywhere you go, no matter where it is, you go to the lowest ghetto in the heart of township, and you end up owning a business? Can you tell me what is your secret? And they looked at each other and they laughed. And then the president said to me, he said, well, you know, we've been noticing that ourselves. We have concluded, based on our assessment, that whenever you go into a community, the first thing you look for is a job. He says, when we come into any community, the first thing we look for is a business. He said, it's attitude. They don't even look for a job. They don't even think about employment. They think deployment. As a man thinking, so he becomes. So I said to the guy, I said, excuse me, so when you go into a town, any country, so what do you do until you get a business? He says, any employment we have is always temporary. We only want enough money to start a business. That's all. Mentality. Number 6, true leadership is self-manifestation. You become a leader when you discover who you are and decide to become it. True leadership is self-manifestation. Your leadership is not ahead of you, it's trapped within you. You are so great, it's amazing. But the environment won't allow you to become it. Sometimes our past will hold us back. Mentality just don't allow you to step out and take a risk. What you're doing now, it's not what you could do. Whatever you're impressed with, God's disappointed in you. Stop waiting for everything to show up before you start. Every leader, I tell you the truth, every leader ain't know what they're doing. Me included. We don't know what we're doing. We just say, I got this idea, I'm gonna go for it. And for heaven's sake, believe me, we ain't got no money. What I mean is for our projects. Because you are not a leader unless you're doing something you cannot pay for. I say you are not a leader unless you are doing something you cannot pay for. Leadership demands that you got to take risks. Number 7, leadership is self-exposure. When you expose your true self, get ready. People won't understand you, but go for it. Let us meet you before you die. Not the one the culture made, not the one society produced, the one that's on the inside that we have yet to meet. The true self. This is why I keep telling people you got to die empty. I want to give you these, what I call the 5 questions of life that you have to answer to become a leader. Number 1, who am I? Number 2, where am I from? Number 3, why am I here? Number 4, what can I do? And number 5, where am I going? These are the most important questions in life, and until you answer them, you will always be a follower. Who am I has to do with identity. You got to discover who you are, apart from 6.7 billion people. Number 2, where am I from has to do with your heritage. And I'm not talking about your ethnicity, because your ethnic heritage is so confusing. Don't try to find yourself by going back into ethnicity. You'll never find out where you're from. Why am I here is a question of purpose. You got to discover why you were sent to the planet. Where am I going is a question of destiny. And what can I do is a question of potential. And therefore, when you discover these answers, you've discovered your leadership. I know who I am. I didn't always, but I found out who I was. And secondly, I know where I came from. And I didn't come from the Bahamas. I didn't come from Africa, because both of them are limiting. All cultures limit you. I had to come from something greater. My greatest mentor in history in my life is Jesus Christ. And one time they asked him, where are you from? You know what his answer was? He didn't say I came from Bethlehem, grew up in Nazareth, and had friends in Capernaum. His answer was, I came down from heaven. They said, no, we know your mother, she's Mary, and your daddy Joe. He says, no, I came down from heaven. He refused to have his heritage limited to earth, and so am I. Me, I came through Baytown. I didn't come from Baytown. I came through the Bahamas. I didn't come from the Bahamas. Wherever you came from can limit you or give you unlimited thinking. I said the reason why they call Africa Mother Africa is because you never get your heritage from your mother. That's why you carry your father's name. The seed of your identity comes from your father. I came down from my father through the mother. That makes me limitless. I'm just like my daddy. All things are with my Father. True leadership is not a method nor a technique. True leadership is an attitude. When I discovered that I came out of God, not out of the Bahamas, suddenly the Bahamas became too small for me. So today we have effects in 90 countries right from this island, because the mentality that was developed here goes beyond this entire region. Don't let where you came from physically track you. Don't let your ethnic heritage become your graveyard. Stop being black and white and yellow and stuff. Forget that stuff. That's too limiting. Become like your father. Be a man. It's a spirit being. There's no limit. Everything you know is not all there is to know. Beliefs and convictions of a leader regulates the nature of their leadership, and therefore the source of beliefs is the perception of your truth. What is truth to you determines what you do with your life. Whatever you think is true, that's how you're going to live. That's why it's important to keep getting information.
You see, he said it's important to keep getting information. You are limitless. We are limitless. There is nothing that can limit each and every one of us. Wow, guys, you see this video? I've played this video 1001 time, and each time I keep playing the video, I keep learning something new. Don't ever think that you listening to this video, you've gotten all the information. It's a lie. There are hidden information in all these videos, like that of Les Brown I played. When you listen to it over and over again, your heart is open to a different set of aspiration. So thank you for today. So tell me, what did we learn? I know we learned a whole lot. So we are running out of time. So I'll just need 3 persons to unmute themselves. Raise up your hand, I'll unmute you for you to tell me what you learned. Just 3 persons, and you have 30 seconds. Please, let's not talk too much. We have 30 seconds. So if you want to speak, if you know that you were impacted so much, raise up your hand and I will unmute you for you to share with us one thing you learned. Just one thing. Okay, Mr. Henry, go ahead. You are free to unmute yourself.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
I'm sorry, if you know you are in an environment where you cannot talk, go to the chat box and type. But please, you guys are lions. I expected a lot of people raising up their hand. Why are we not raising up our hand? Okay, Mr. Henry, go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, this one is very, very inspiring. Very, very, very inspiring. So we love to have more of these videos. I hope we can have this video after this.
Yeah, the record will be shared, and at the same time, those of us that will be coming for our offline coaching, I can give you guys the personal development video for you to even have them on your phone or on your flash that you can play in your car, in your house, anywhere.
Okay, it cannot be sent on our general
group.
I'll
be sending the record of our section. But if the video is long, so I think it's better to collect it via phone or flash.
Okay. Oh, what I learned is so much. I don't even know where to start. So the first thing I want to say is that what you think is even more important than what you do. Your mentality is even more important. It's your mind that carries you, your mindset. It's your mindset that carries you this far. There are a lot of things to talk about, but I don't want to waste our time here.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Then I also want I missed some things because I'm writing. I was writing everything. That I missed the 7 principles of true leadership. I wrote like 3 or 4 down, but I missed number 1, number 3, and then number 6.
Don't worry, we'll be sending out the record. Once you send out the record, then you can listen again.
Yes, then the 5 questions also I got. Who am I? Where am I from? Why am I here? That I missed number 4. Then the last one is what can I do? So that number 4, did you get that number 4?
Yeah, we'll get all of them. Thank you very much. Okay. We'll have access to all of them. Mr. Femi, go ahead, unmute yourself. Mr. Femi, go ahead, unmute yourself.
All right, I've done that. Good morning. I learned a lot this morning. The first thing is that leaders don't think like followers. So if I must be a leader, I should desist from thinking like followers. I need to drop the spirit of followership and begin to see myself as leaders. Leaders should be like lion. They should be fearless. Thinking of, oh, what if I succeed and did not succeed, shouldn't be our thought pattern. We should see ourselves as always succeeding, and we should surround ourselves with people that have gone ahead of us, that have succeeded, and so seeing them around will ginger us to also spur us to succeed. There are so many. We need to change our perception. We need to come out of our comfort zone if we must come out of poverty. There are so many. I'm so glad I didn't miss this one.
Yes. So trust me, you see this video, there is 1 million things to learn and act on. Becoming a lion, unleash the lion in you. Fly as high as you can as an eagle, because you are an eagle. Your mentality, your attitude, your belief system, your association. So guys, keep listening to this over and over again. I'll be sending us the record. Keep listening to over and over again. For those of us coming to the office, I'll copy it to your phones or to your flash. Very important. So thank you very much for today. Remember, today is Wednesday. We're having our business orientation 8 p.m. Call your friends, know those that attended last night. Close in on them. Those that didn't attend last night, rebook them for today. Then call a new set of 10 or 20 names from your 300 contacts to attend our business orientation tonight. Remember, every day, ensure that nothing less than 10 persons are present in the business presentation on Zoom. Those of us in Lagos, we are having our business presentation in the office today by 11 o'clock for new people. Invite your friends. Use your flyer, use your reservation code. Tomorrow, Thursday, by 11 o'clock, business presentation for new people. Friday, 11 o'clock, business presentation for new people. And I believe you guys have seen my schedule for the coaching. Today by 10 o'clock, tomorrow, my coaching starts by 2 because there is an organization that invited me to come and speak to them. So I'll be going there tomorrow in the morning. So I should be back before 2. Then Friday by 9 a.m. That's my coaching section with each and every one of us. So thank you very much. And please put to practice action on everything you're learning. It won't be easy, but there's something about consistency, small actions every day makes it a habit for you. So thank you very much, and see each and every one of us tonight for the business presentation, and see us working on our income generating activities all through the week, and we'll talk more on Monday. Remember, the promo is on. May promo is on. Get 2 of your friends registering into this business, stand a chance to win 5,000. Buy any of our products, 15 boxes of coffee, 15 boxes of My Choco, 4 big pack of any of the supplements, and stand a chance to win 5,000. Be committed and receive award from the NGO. And more importantly, the more people you recruit, the more people you connect to get started, the higher chances of you winning the 5,000. So far, so good. Mr. Femi is the first person that have qualified for the promo. So come on, guys. 6 persons are to win. So be among the 6 persons that will be winning 5,000 from the Alpha Lion raffle draw. So thank you very much, and see each and every one of us. I'm heading to the office. Bye-bye, and take care of yourself. Have a wonderful, eventful, income-generating, money-making, so much money week. Thank you very much, and see each and every one of us.